Hey guys, this is Tara Sullivan. I am decided to kind of start a new floss tube. My new floss tube name is going to be Sully Stitches, with my last name pretty obvious, but I've been called Sully for most of my life. And then, of course, a lot of you know I love to stitch. And if you're here, I hope you love to stitch too. So I will be changing my Instagram name too to Sully Stitches to kind of keep it consistent. But I used to film a floss tube, but I did that with another stitcher. It came very difficult to coordinate schedules. So I'm just gonna kind of hop on here, no schedule, no set rhyme or reason, but just kind of come on here and talk about my stitching. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it, and comment, let me know what you think. Nice comments, please. No, I'm kidding. You can say whatever you want. It doesn't bother me. So kind of just to start off, I did a year-end recap of 2023 on Instagram, and I really enjoyed filming again. It was a lot of fun. Try not to talk with my hands. I do that a lot. But I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of fun to kind of get back into filming and recording and talking about my stitching. So I thought I'd kind of start from there. So kind of the first thing is I was working on one of the preschooler Santas from the old St. Nick book. It was the Santa with a snowflake staff. So I did finish him. He was my first finish on 1/6 of this year. So I was glad to have him done. He's super cute. So I did try to get a board to kind of keep out the light, but this is a preschooler Santa, Santa with snowflake staff. It is in the old St. Nick book, which is book 58. And I did stitch him just on vintage country mocha, 40 count. But his coat turned out lovely. So that's kind of my first finish of 2024. Then I also did a new start on 1/6. I kind of stitched these really fast. They were super fun stitch, super quick. But the first one was Fa La La from Heart and Hand. I did these on 36 count Winter Brew by R&R. Sorry. For the call for colors. And then I did the other one in that pattern, which is Mary. So again, call for colors, 36 count Winter Brew by R&R. They stitched up really fast for me. They were super fun. And as you can tell on my shelves up here, I'm not really ready to let go of Christmas. This is my bonus room, my craft room, where I do all my stitching. I think, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen pictures of it. But I do all my stitching in here and all my crafting. But I do change these shelves out, usually just depending on the season. But I've kind of left Christmas up for a little bit longer because I've been enjoying it. And then I had a new start of, this was a kit that I got from Country Sampler, but it was a Hobby House Press Prancer. So I finished this one, Hobby House Prancer. Turned out super cute. It was the Country Sampler kit, so whatever they called for. And then they did send kind of the backing and the trim to finish it out, to get it made into a small. I'm not a finisher. I really don't enjoy finishing. I think it's beautiful what other people do. I wish I did enjoy it, but I send my things off to, professional finishers to have them finish it. And then kind of my last finish so far, 2024, is the, I started the Mary Alcorn 1784, again, Hobby House Press, the scissor holder. So this is, this was kitted up and all came together, but they had a scissor holder, a drum, and then I think they're going to release a sampler sometimes later. But this is done on 40 count Thornfield by Needle and Flax, but it is the scissor holder. So it comes with, the spool, and you wrap it around. I have the pattern here. Sorry guys, I forgot to show the patterns. So this is the scissor holder. So that'll be kind of the finished product for that one. And then as I mentioned, these were the Santas that came out of the old St. Nick book by Prairie Schooler. And then Heart and Hand, Fa La La and Mary. And then as mentioned, Hobby House Press Prancer. Sorry guys, I'm a little out of practice. Hadn't done this in probably, God, I don't even know how long. It's been quite a while. But then I was kind of still feeling the smalls. So I kind of went ahead last night and started Threadwork Primitives Bristol Sampler Pair. I've always loved this design. I finished 2 pairs for some friends for Christmas this year. The Mary one of, the Believe one of these. And I've just always loved them. So I started me one as well. But this is, I'm doing this, they called for 32. So I'm doing this on 32. It's just a piece of fabric flare that I had called Ice Mocha. And I'm using the called for thread, which is Week Style Works Lancaster Red. She does give you several options, which is really neat on this pattern, but I decided I wanted it big, so I kind of did the 32. And even with the one thread, the coverage is really good, I think. So sometimes I know that's an issue, but I think it's turning out really cute. So those are kind of my finishes and my starts so far for 2024. I did buy and print the 24 projects in 2024 off of Etsy that Nap Time Stitcher has done. She did like the format for us. You get a bunch of different formats in there, but it just makes it easy to kind of fill out your stuff, go through it, and go from there. So a couple of things about me. I am a big journaler, so I'm constantly taking notes of my stitching. So I do have this tiny little kind of planner that I write just notes in with fabric, starts and finishes. But I also do memory planning. So I know we all kind of love stickers. So what I do is I do like a weekly sticker spread. So this is like for January and this is for this week. So they're 2 pages. This is a B6 planner that I get from Sadie's Stickers. And then what I do is not only do I have a weekly, but I do decorate a monthly for the month. And then I also have always kind of done a recap page. Again, I have a lot of stickers, so I just kind of put them to use. So I also do before the next month kind of a recap. So you'll see all my starts, all my finishes for the month so far. So that's just kind of how I know a lot of people use the Book of Days. I've used the Book of Days before, but I seem to like to write a lot. And then I used to do a lot of memory planning just for weekly activities. So I was like, well, I might as well just use my sticker kits, but I really loved logging the cross stitch. So this became just my stitching journal. So that's kind of how I do that. And the reason it's so thick and full is because I do start in October. It's just kind of how I started my last one. So this is since, this is since August. So I started this one in August of this year. So almost like an academic planner. So what I thought I would do now, a couple of things. So I did have a few finishes that I sent off to a finisher, and I did get those back yesterday. So I thought I would go through and kind of show you those. So the first one is With Thy Needle and Thread, Be Ye Thankful. And then this is kind of the backing fabric. I send the backing fabric and the trim, and she is kind enough to put it together for me. Beautiful job. So glad to have this one fully finished. And then I also had Joy and Good Cheer, again by With Thy Needle and Thread. And then this is kind of the backing fabric that I chose for it and the trim. I had Hello Fall from the Scarlet House. So this was a different colorway. I'm sure you all have seen it, but The original was like blacks and yellows, which was beautiful too, but someone had done it in like browns and oranges. So I did that and then just sent this as my backing fabric. Love this. I love this design. I've always loved this design. This is by Mojo Stitches, Bright. And Country Sampler, this was a kit, I believe. And so they sent the backing fabric and the trim for this one. So, and then I have a Plum Street, Cardinal Kin. So this was the Plum Street one. I did the version that had kind of more of the burgundy. I think there's two versions in the pattern. Sorry, it's been a while on this one. But this is Cardinal Kin by Plum Street. And then I just picked this as my backing fabric. And then I did these three. They are Stacy Nash. I cannot remember the name of these. I'm sorry. Snowflake Trio, I believe. But it was, again, a kit from Country Sampler. So they sent the trim and the backing and the fabric. As you can tell, I love a good kit. Again, adorable little backing fabric trim. I did the stitching, but I like having it all put together for me. And then again, so this was a 3-part chart, and you kind of stack them on top of each other. But again, Country Sampler sent all the trim and the backing for those. So I hope you enjoyed those. Those are some smalls that I recently got back. I do have some larger finishes that I'm going to take to my framer. So I'll maybe go through those depending on how long this video is, but probably the next video to kind of show you. So what I thought I would do is, like I said, I filled out the 24 projects in 2024. Some are kitted, some I don't have kitted, some are whips, some are new starts. I thought I would go through those, show you what I have. The whips I've kind of have over in a different section. If you want to see those, you can go to my Instagram. I kind of showed those at the end of my last video. But I thought I'd kind of go through, show you my plans. These are larger pieces. I will stitch smalls as well. If you don't stitch smalls, I highly recommend it. It's very satisfying at times when we have all these bigger projects to kind of go through and do some smalls. But I do want to go through those and kind of do a 24 list as well, maybe, or a 12. I haven't decided yet, and kind of pull those out and get those where they're very easy for me to grab. So you can see I have like a little stitching cart behind me, and a lot of my projects sit in there. So when I'm kind of ready to go, I don't have to kind of go through my whole stash. I just kind of get those focus pieces out and start working on those. So I didn't take these out of plastic, so I will go ahead and apologize for the glare. But the first house one that I had picked was the Scarlet House Sarah Barnes. I love this pattern and design. And I did order the Vicki Clayton silks for this. And then I have a lot of, you can see this cabinet here. I have a lot of fabric stash. So I kind of, if I don't have the call for, sometimes I'll just pick what I have. It just kind of depends on the pattern. Sometimes I love it, see it, I want it exactly the same. But a lot of times I'll just go through my stash for fabric. So that's the first one, Sarah Barnes. The second one is a whip. So again, you can see it on my Instagram. It's Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. A larger piece. I started that last year with a couple of friends, and it's funny because we're all doing it very different. One of my friends is doing it more in purples. One of my friends has more fall colors. And then I did the called for, except I did change the fabric to 40 count Thornfield, and I'm using Vicki Clayton silks. It's one of my favorite pieces that I've ever stitched. It's beautiful. So, you know, more to come on that one. And then my third one is, again, another whip, Little Birds by Blackbird Designs. Again, I am stitching that on Picture This Plus, and I'm using Vicki Clayton silks. And then I have the Harriet Brown Redwork sampler, which is a Stacy Nash. Again, it's a red long pillow. So, I mean, it's, you know, red lettering. So that's my other whip that I have. I don't really start a lot of projects Only time I've ever done that was Mania. And I am not a big starter. I kind of more enjoy the process once I'm in the stitch and know the like designs, like the symbols and the colors. And when I'm getting close to a finish, that's really what I kind of enjoy. I can start in 2 seconds. It doesn't, you know, I don't need to kit up a lot. Luckily for me, I have a lot of stash. I have a lot of threads. So when I decide I want to start something, I can kind of just go right and start it. Because I didn't mention this before, but I have been stitching. I learned how to stitch when I was probably 14, and I kind of put it down. And then when I was 25, I kind of wanted to start a hobby again. I'm almost in my 50s now, but so over 20 years. But when I started trying to start back into stitching, I took a linen class at my local shop, and I fell in love with linen and the hand dyes and, you know, the thread. So I really haven't put it down. So I've been collecting my stash for over 20 years. It's a lot of stash, but, you know, as you can tell, I stitch a lot. So I feel okay with it. So my next one is Ann Chilton. Again, another Scarlet House. So I do have the Belsois silks for this. And I love this little sampler. I saw this at Hobby House fully done, and it's just, it's great. So that's my second one. My next one is Sarah Platt by Pineberry Lane. So I love the colors in this. It's all like weeks and gentle arts. It's not silks, but I love this pattern and I love the colors. So that's Sarah Platt, 1811 by Pineberry Lane. My next one is, I just have the printed because I bought the digital version of this, but it is Teresa Kogut, Newcastle Bouquet. Again, Teresa Kogut, Newcastle Bouquet. My next one is a kit from Hobby. I got it from Country Sampler, the kit, but it's Hobby House Press, Dasher and Dancer. It's really beautiful because they did theirs on this green color. But this is the pattern. Again, Hobby House Press, Dasher and Dancer. Okay. My next one, again, is another kit from Country Sampler. This is La-Di-Da, You and Me, 1, 2, 3. It's a small sampler, but you can tell it's really pretty. I have to see how much, I'm not a big, I like variegation in the thread, but I'm not a huge modeled person. So, I mean, in the fabric, but I'm not a huge model person. So I'm gonna have to see how that modeling kind of comes out of that one, if I stick with that fabric or not. Again, another kit from Country Sampler, Heap on the Wood, which is With Thy Needle and Thread. Oh, upside down. Sorry, guys. Told you, out of practice. So again, Heap on the Wood by With Thy Needle and Thread. So fully kitted. The next one is Humming of the Bees by Blackbird Designs. I do have the Vicki Clayton silk pack for this. I love this design. I think it's a beautiful sampler. So, Humming of the Bees. And as I mentioned, I do have the Vicki Claytons. I don't know if you've ever ordered from Vicki Clayton, but this is how they kind of come. Really well organized. Makes it easy to kind of find what you need. The next one is Red Manor sampler from the Scarlet House. We got this as the kit project at the Hobby House retreat last year. I have a start, but it's like 3 berries, so I don't really think you guys want to see that. But can you even call that a start? But it's Red Manor sampler, and it was a retreat exclusive at Hobby House last year. Okay. My next one is At Home by With Thy Needle and Thread. Love this pattern. I did order the Vicky Clayton silks for this one as well. It's just beautiful. And I don't think that I'll do all these in this year. These are just kind of focus pieces. So I don't have delusions of grandeur. I kind of know these are all larger projects. But it's for me, it's good to kind of go through, narrow them down, and see the ones I want to kind of focus on. They'll probably change. The list will probably change. That's kind of what lists are for. They do change. But these are the ones that I really were calling to me and speaking to me this year. So this is, again, another Wood Thy Need on Thread, Marian Kopp, 1839. I'm going to do these with Vicky Clayton silks as well. Another one, Wood Thy Need on Thread, Rejoice Evermore. A lot of people have stitched this. This is absolutely gorgeous. Love the design. Again, I'm gonna do Vicky Clayton silks with it. You'll hear a lot of themes with my stuff, sorry guys. But that doesn't bother you, but a lot of country sampler kits, a lot of Vicky Clayton silks. I like it easy. And then I'm either going to do, I have a kind of a choice. Either I'd like to do Yuletide Welcome. I'm sorry, Guletide. This is a Guletide Welcome. Guletide Welcome from Plum Street. So either this one or I have a tiny start. Again, can you count it as a start? But it's a my good friend Jen, Purple Stitcher, and I, for her birthday, like 2 years ago, we she's a lot farther than I am. We started a Yuletide Welcome. So I mean, literally, I don't even know if that's up or down, but that's literally all I have started. So Yuletide Welcome by Plum Street. So that's kind of a one or the other. And these are bags that Jen makes. She does a beautiful job. I have other ones. I just didn't put all that stuff in bags because I didn't want to have to unzip them all and get it out. Again, another twofer. So either I really want to do either the American Sampler, which is a Plum Street, or start, and I have it kitted up, Heritage Sampler. So I would love it at some point to do all these, you know, again, delusions of grandeur. Then I have the Brick House Sampler with Thy Needle and Thread. I've always loved this pattern. My dilemma is I have the house only. That's how Country Sampler kind of kitted it up. They did just the house only in this pattern, but I really love the whole thing. So I can't decide, do I want to do the house and then do the whole thing, or do the whole, you know, I just can't decide. So that's kind of why I keep holding off, but I'm going to try to make a decision this year and move forward with it. But I love that whole thing too. Then I do have one other whip, which is Plum Street Salem Sisters 2. It's an older pattern from Plum Street, but that's another whip. And then, which is here. I did pull that pattern out, which is good. And then I have Christmas Tide at Holly House. This is the Scarlet House again. So Christmas time. I've always loved this little pattern. It's not little. It's like 197 by 166. It's not tiny, but I've always loved this design. Then I have Scarlet Berries by the Scarlet House. This is, I think, a market release as well, but it's just stunning. And then I have, oh, it's gonna fall. Mrs. Campbell from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I have that kitted up with 100 threes, but so. And then my last two, I have those as kind of PDFs. Sally Spencer, which is a Birds of the Feather, and a Fiona Rutherford 1866, which is the wishing thorn. So those are kind of the, again, I did print it, the 24 projects in 2024. You do get this from Etsy from the Naptime Stitcher. And she kind of came up with this format for us, which helps. So that's, I probably won't have tons of long videos. I probably need to hold things up longer. You know, like I said, I'm a little out of practice, so give me a little bit of grace while I'm trying to get back into it. I always feel like I'm being really slow, but I think you don't realize, you know, timing when you kind of start back. As mentioned, I do have a good number of things. They're kind of sitting in that chair right now to go to the framer. I can probably show you those on the next video before I record it, before I take it. It'll probably be a couple weeks before I go. Kind of have some stitching days coming up with some friends, which is a lot of fun. I do have several kind of, I have 2 kind of private retreats, and then I have, I always go to StitchCon, which will be the June time frame, and then I am hopefully going back to Hobby House again for Scarlet House next retreat. So those are kind of my plans for this year. Try not to be as busy as I have been in the past. But, you know, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you enjoyed the time. You know, like I said, give me feedback. Let me know what I can do better. I probably already know what I need to do better, but it always hurts, and it never hurts to have some help. You know, hopefully you'll hear more from me. Again, no set schedule. I'm just going to kind of take this by ear and have some fun with it. You know, I hope you'll come back and see me. I hope you'll follow me, and, you know, I hope you enjoyed this. So I hope everybody has a great Sunday. Again, this is Sunday, January the 14th. And thanks so much. Have a great day.